In the Middle East, people really love to speak to each other and speak to the administrator of the game. And they want to see a personal touch. And they want to see that this is like a... And you will find that the Chinese companies try a lot with community management. But the one who will be answering the phone is a Chinese person who speaks Arabic, which will not like really make sense to the users. They even provide VIP lines for you to call them if you are a big spender inside the game. But when we tried something similar to that, we have proven 10x's the value in comparison to the Chinese developer.
In a previous incarnation, I used to work for a company called Babel Media, which was a localization company. You know, it was PC games and it was, you know, console games and all that. And I was one of the, really, truly, was one of the first people to get them into mobile games. We did a deal with Vodafone Live, so I know a little bit about localization. And the mantra that we used to have at the company, that if we have localized the game, the idea of that game is that it feels as if it was made in the country that we've localized it in, right? And that wasn't easy, right? There were stupid things like in Germany, you're not allowed to have red blood. You know that? You know that story? It could only be green or blue because of Nazism or some weirdness. All those small little mistakes that you can make. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I agree with you. The thing that interests me here, right? We have a French company here that you haven't worked with yet. It sounds like it's looking promising. It seems that the Chinese, even with their bots and their Chinese Arabic-speaking mistakes and all that stuff, have realised that this is an awesome market as much as they're buying land in Africa and all that stuff. So there's a massive opportunity here for, well, there's a missed opportunity already for Western publishers to come in and maybe compete with you anyway. But it seems like you've got a little bit of a playing field here for a couple of years where you could do this type of thing. Is that what you think is going to happen? You're going to grow and grow and grow. And if you do scale, can you do that?
I believe scaling is on our list. We are really working hard to scale and reach more audience. And I believe with the type of titles that we are signing and getting to the region, we will be able to get more and more of these deals and get better results in terms of revenues and amount of users. Also, our team is growing. We are 26 and we have it, but we are shifting all the resources to Amman in Jordan. And we are planning to grow the team to 50 by the end of the year. So we just announced a Series A round that will help us scale and will help us do more on the marketing front and all that stuff. But it's just very, very exciting times.
So for one of our titles, it's a strategy MMO, and we see some of the users in, say, Saudi Arabia, for example, spending, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on the game. How much is data management going to be part of your kind of strategy moving forward? You know, you have 50 million downloads in the Middle East. That's something that not many gaming companies would have, and it's something you could definitely leverage. Is this going to be a big kind of piece of the pie for you guys to have an advantage over bigger companies?
Yeah, thank you. So what we did is this year we decided to really put a lot of focus on the database, because I believe this is the biggest value for us. Not the localization, not the marketing, not anything, just the database. So we've built a database that has all the users from every single game that we have launched and dumped it inside the database, and we are running a lot of business intelligence on these users. So we are identifying the whales, who paid, who did not pay, who are like the who's crossed between different games, some different genres, who's active, who's not active. We have their email addresses. We have some of them. We have even their phone numbers. WhatsApp is a big deal in the region.
What do you do for the whales? Do you do anything for them?
So what we are doing is, so many of these whales came and visited us in our office. We invite them over. We send them gifts. We talk to them. Yeah. Yeah, one of them is like the prince in Saudi Arabia, and he would just. But they will just. I believe that for all of these players, they actually don't want anything like a physical gift, just a recognition that he is. Yeah, as states he is important. Is we have a dedicated WhatsApp line for these people to talk directly to the admin, which I believe is really interesting. They can call us anytime. They can talk to us if you reach a certain status by spending this amount of money inside the game. So a lot of work has been done on that front. We also built an SDK that collects as much data and connect them to all the BI tools that we use. So targeting any new user for any new launch becomes easier and easier and easier, and can help the game propel to the top of the charts. So in the 50 games that we have launched, maybe 30 of those reached #1 across the whole region in terms of free games. And the grossing charts, it depends on the game. So it has to be really a good game in order to reach the top of the charts. You will not buy your way into that. But the top of the free charts, we've reached it every time.
We've probably got about 2 minutes, right? I could hear him, even your voice, man. You know what I mean? Your man got married last year. It's a very, very good time in his life. You know what I mean? So, great questions. Thank you, Gamenoft and all that, for your questions. What's your kind of existent business in MENA, in the Middle East? Are you there? Do you do business there?
So we're very fortunate that Sarah speaks Arabic. We have advertised, we have advertised in the Middle East, but I definitely think our approach is probably not perfect. We don't specialize the creatives for the user acquisition for the Middle East. Sarah looks over the text that we're using and makes sure it's all fine, but that's about the extent. We've run quite a few tests in Saudi Arabia, trying to find some of these whales. The biggest issue for us is that we have a certain amount of budget that we can spend, and if we don't get a whale in that time, it kind of gets shut off. And that's our approach. It's very haphazard. It's not a fully committed, we're going to tackle the Middle East and this is success for the Middle East. 100%.
Especially for strategy games, like our CPIs are really, really high, so we cannot afford to spend for a very long time if we do not see the results. Yeah.
I know a company called Powringo, which is a messaging platform that bought a couple of games companies to try and integrate games into the messaging app, it was a very good effort, let's just say, amazing. Let's just leave it at that. But the cultural things that came out of that, apart from the whales and the high ARPU on the basis of those whales, there were like some really weird things. Like Saudi Arabians were having wars with Egyptians. Like massive motherfucking battles and all that type of thing. Is like, maybe that stops wars or whatever. Anyway, we have to go. We're going to go for a beer, and hopefully the two of you improvised panellists will come with us as well. A round of applause for our three panellists.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.